Why is therapy important? Switching career as a biomedical scientist to practicing as a perinatal mental health worker for the last 7 years has been a transition for me. And even though I have not still yet gotten my license with, the Psychology Association of any country yet, but I have put in the work that is required to practice as a perinatal mental health therapist and as a perinatal mental health worker, with certifications from Coursera, from Postpartum Support International, Future Learn, and so many other learning platforms that I've leveraged on to take public health courses, to take mental health courses in CBT, understanding anxiety, supporting grieving parents, social psychology, advanced perinatal mental health trainings. I have done this, and from it over the years, I've learned why it is important to, provide perinatal mental health therapy for parents and mothers in Nigeria, most especially. And because of that, I decided that I might as well do a recording to share why therapy is important. A lot of people have asked me, why is therapy important? Some people don't even understand, and some people just want to catch the cruise. When I first started as a mental health professional in 2016, a lot of people, it wasn't the buzz. People didn't jump on it just yet, but now you hear people embrace it. People even label themselves. I don't like labels, but I hear people label themselves. They jump on the mental health label easily these days, and for some reasons I cringe towards it, because yes, some people have accepted it, some people still shy away from it because of a number of reasons. And so I decided to do a recording to explain why therapy is important, and also to call you to book us for your services, because to book us for therapy for our services, I mean to say. So because of this, I'm going to share 3 reasons why therapy is important and why therapy is a miracle. And I say this all the time. Therapy is a miracle, and mental health practices is a miracle to our generation. This is what a lot of people don't know. And specifically with what I deal with, perinatal mental health therapy is a miracle for our generation. It's something that we shouldn't even, we should embrace. So these are the 3 reasons why perinatal mental health therapy is important. Okay, so let me explain what perinatal mental health therapy is before I explain why it is important. Perinatal mental health therapy is therapy that is given to a mother who is trying to conceive, who is pregnant, and who is postpartum, and also goes the same line with the spouse. So most of the time, perinatal mental health therapy is mostly for parents and for mothers, and is given to them in their transitioning period into becoming a mother and eventually becoming and being pregnant and postpartum. Postpartum is after you've put to birth. So at that time, mental health support is given to you. You see a therapist, and the therapist is specialized in providing care for mothers and fathers who are in their pregnancy and their postpartum period. So if you are watching this and you're a mother, you're a father, you're planning to be a mother, this is why perinatal mental health therapy is important. Number 1, you are at the time of your life where you're transitioning, and therapy is important because when you're transitioning in your life into something new, maybe you're changing career, you're becoming a mother, you're becoming a wife, you're becoming a husband, you're doing something that you're not so used to. Sometimes you are experiencing even body changes, environmental changes, something new is happening in your life. It can pose a threat to your mental health, and because you are at that time of your life when you're preparing to have a child, that is something new. You haven't really been preparing to have a child. So if you're in your preconception period, it can put you at risk, and at that time you might require therapy. Same thing with when you eventually become pregnant. It is a new phase, it's a new experience. Your boobs are going to be fuller than they are. You're going to crave food more than you usually would. You're even going to throw them up. So the transitioning period can have a toll on your psychology, can have a toll on the way you react and behave to life like you used to. It can have a toll on your activities. It can even affect your productivity too. So at that point you need support, you need the guidance of a professional perinatal mental health therapist, and it's important that you receive care at that time. A lot of times when we talk about mental health for parents and mothers, it's because these parents and mothers live together. So the number 2 reasons why you require therapy is to improve your relationships with the people around you. So sometimes when we talk about therapy, people just think, oh, it's for mothers when they are pregnant. Yes, you can be pregnant and you're struggling, but you can be in a difficult relationship and you're not thriving at it, and because your spouse or you don't have the resources that is required to promote your mental health and, you know, promote a healthy experience for the both of you. So at that point, you will require the help of a professional to guide you through in terms of how you relate with each other and the way you guys, you know, communicate. Then the third reason why you need therapy is mostly for people who have had a toxic and, you know, difficult time. They had experienced something toxic in their life that is sort of like harming them. It could be the loss of a child. Not necessarily, that might not be what is toxic, but it is a memory that can affect your new experience. Yeah, so if you have experienced miscarriages, if you've been married before and you've been trolled, so there are different experiences that, you know, can just put you at risk of having a mental health challenge, especially when you are having a new baby. So if you have experienced a toxic pattern, therapy helps you unlearn that toxic pattern, helps you cope. So what therapy does is the professional holds your hand. You have a role to play in therapy. It's not just about the professional alone. So they hold your hand and guide you through, depending on what you want. There's usually first a diagnosis, and then you would have structured help, or sometimes the therapist can recommend resources for you and helps you keep tab on you and give you different tasks that you will need to, you know, use and go through that period. So most of the time, for therapy to be effective, my people, you have to be a part of it. You have to make a decision. It's not something you just jump on. You have to. So most of the time when people say, oh, Didio, I want you to provide care for this person, I want you to provide therapy for this person, I'm like, did this person say they want therapy? Because if you don't want therapy, it is going to be difficult. It has to be something that you say, you know what, I want this. And sometimes people even put therapists on retainerships, where they go just like you go to your doctors, just like you go to your fashion designers to make you wears. The same thing, people put themselves on, you know, repeated therapy, long-term therapy. And I always advise that as a professional, that most of our clients should be, especially if you are planning to have a baby, preconception, pregnant and postpartum, you should put yourself on a long-term access to professional therapy that guides you through because you don't know what will happen in the next minute that will have a toll on your mental health. And so usually when we're talking about mental health, some people just think, oh, it's about being mad. No, it's just about the stresses of life that you experience every day that, you know, affects your ability to cope with life and affects your productivity, and sometimes creeps in on you slowly without you even paying attention to it. So yes, these are the reasons why therapy is important. So now that you've known, I'm going to share a link in my description button. If you click on the description button, you'll be able to get a link to reach me if you're seeking help, if you're seeking therapy, or you want to recommend someone for therapy. It has to be a mother, it has to also be a father, or some other couple. I don't provide therapy generally. I provide therapy for just mothers and fathers only. So if you would need help, I'm going to put a link that I can be reached with on the description button, and you'll be able to reach me. And I'm happy, we're more than happy, my team is more than happy to, you know, provide care for you. That said, my name is Edidiong Michael Ishala. Every time I come here, I talk about my preconception journey, and I am here to provide hope and, you know, just sort of like promote the mental health of mothers who are preconception, pregnant and postpartum alongside their spouses. It's been my time here, and until I come your way in the next series, where I'll just maybe talk about something else. Right now, I hope you learned something about why therapy is important. I'll see you on the next. Bye.